Welcome to your doom.
What's up, everyone? We are your Harbingers of Doom. Atul?
Justin! I'm sorry. Why you did that?
Jeez, yeah, you did it because you probably finished that.
I'm excited.
Finished that coffee.
Yeah, no, I'm excited. We haven't podcasted in like a week and a half. I've been jonesing, dude.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I don't know why.
We're talking about...
It's like a drug.
We're talking about Thor today, Ragnarok. This one's a little late because we saw Thor and Justice League pretty much back to back. Like I think I saw Thor first,
yeah,
and then like 2 days later or 3 days later, I saw Justice League.
Yeah, I actually saw Thor the day before Justice League.
Oh, okay, so it was just like 24 hours of
less.
Yeah, yeah, that's right, 24 hours of difference. So we ended up doing Justice League first because it was sort of like fresh in our minds, and then we had planned to come back and do Thor. But we just haven't gotten the time. But we have found the time today, so we're gonna jump right in. In the meantime, what have you been watching? Anything, reading anything interesting come up?
Punisher,
the TV series.
Holy,
you watched the whole thing?
Shit! Yeah, I just finished it.
Okay.
It's I might actually do a side quest on it, like exclusively to talk about it.
All right.
I would rank it up there right now for the Marvel TV series. Like, it's really, really hard for me to pick between Daredevil, Jessica Jones, and Punisher in terms of which ones I like the best. Because I really, really like Jessica Jones, like, a lot.
Yeah.
That might be my favorite one. Because what's the doctor? I can't remember the guy's name. The actor. He plays the
I haven't seen
Purple
any
Man.
of these shows.
Oh, no, that's fine. No,
Yeah.
what I mean, the doctor from, like, Doctor Who. That dude.
The English guy?
Yeah, the English guy.
Like the actual guy who played the...
the English guy that played the fucking doctor.
Sorry.
Clown.
Sorry, the English guy, the young English guy, not the older
young
guy.
Dude's a good-looking dude.
And he was in the Fright Night remake, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I cannot remember. David Tennant?
David Tennant, I
Yeah,
believe
okay.
that's it. I'm just looking it up now. I'm like 99%
I think it's
sure.
David Tennant. Yeah, he plays the villain.
Yeah, he plays the Purple Man is with the character's name.
Purple Man.
The Purple Man. And dude, it's such a good show.
Cool.
I really liked it. Yeah, David Tennant. And he's the guy that makes it because his villain is just so menacing and like I don't know. I really liked him, but the Punisher's up there for me, man. It's really, really dark. The action scenes are quite well choreographed. I mean, it's the Punisher, so you're not getting kung fu. It's down and dirty, gritty. What you'd expect for that kind of a character. It's good. I'm really, really impressed.
You know, I never saw the sequel to The Punisher. I've always wanted to see that.
Which
like
one? The Warzone?
Warzone.
Dude.
Never saw that.
I love that film.
I kind of want to see it.
It's bananas.
I heard and I've seen some scenes where it's just like, it's rated R. Like
Hard R.
Hard R.
Hard.
Yeah, harder. Yeah, I'm kind of interested in checking that one out.
The opening scene for that is amazing. He offs like a group of mobsters and their wives at a dinner table, and these mobsters are old. Like, I'd say like they looked good for like 120. Like
ancient.
It was, and that's the one where he hangs himself upside down from a chandelier and starts using the guns to start spinning around.
Basically like the scene from Boondock Saints, except this time it was on purpose.
Exactly. That's pretty much what it was. It was, I don't know, I love that film for what it was. It was cool. Over the top, silly. I mean, I don't know, maybe the Punisher's not supposed to have as much silliness in it, but
it's kind of amazing how many guys have been bouncing around sort of the comic book film sort of genre.
Yeah. And
they end up like, you know, he's I can't remember his name now, a very menacing dude, the guy who plays Punisher in that film.
Ray Stevenson, who
also
plays Volstagg.
Yeah, he's one of the Warriors 3.
Yeah.
And we're back at Thor.
Nice segue.
But I did want to mention one quick thing. I finished watching a TV show called Mr. Mercedes, which is based on a Stephen King novel, and stars Brendan Gleeson in the lead role, and it's really great television. Amazing. Brendan Gleeson plays angry old Irishman, like perfectly.
I love
perfectly. And all the acting is just like phenomenal all around. Great stuff. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. The other thing I saw was Vice Principals. Have you ever heard of that TV show?
No, I haven't.
With oh dear. The pilot from Alien Covenant.
Danny McBride.
Danny McBride and Walton Goggins.
I don't know who Walton Goggins is.
You definitely do.
I probably do if I saw him.
From Predators.
Predators.
Yeah,
yeah. Dude, he's in everything.
He's in a lot. And he's a good actor.
He's a great actor.
And
he was amazing in Hateful Eight.
Yes,
he was
exactly.
Fantastic.
He was very good.
He's good in everything. He's honestly good in everything.
And it's kind of this weird dark comedy. It does kind of falter at certain points, but I mean, it's if you like that sort of, it's comedy, but it's almost like mean-spirited comedy. Mm-hmm. If you like that sort of thing, this will definitely tickle your pickles.
Tickle your pickles
all day.
Nice.
Yeah, and there was something else that I saw or read, but I can't remember what it was. So. That's that.
How important could it be?
How important, yeah.
I still haven't seen Stranger Things.
I've not seen Stranger Things season 2.
Season 2, yeah, that's right.
And I'm waiting for my media center unit to come in so I can set up my receiver.
Yeah.
There are 2 things I'm going to watch probably immediately. One is going to be Stranger Things, and the other one is going to be Castlevania because I still haven't seen it.
That's a quick one. It's like 4 20-minute episodes.
Yeah, I heard it's just like an hour and a half, like the whole thing.
Yeah. It's quick.
So it's like watching a movie.
It's good, but it's quick. It leaves you wanting more. I found myself actually every time I go to Netflix going to the Castlevania entry to be like, is there another season?
Yeah, so no, I'm happy to hear that. There was a lot of positive reaction to it, and it kind of like unofficially, because it's not actually considered a film, although its running time is basically filmic, right? Film? It's like a filmic running time or a film-like running time. Yeah,
filmic. Filmic. I'm sorry.
Filmic runtime. It actually sort of unofficially broke the curse of every video game based film being awful because it got generally positive reviews, and there hasn't been a film based on a video game in a while that's actually been generally liked. Assassin's Creed was supposed to break that mold. Have you seen that movie?
I haven't.
Genuinely not very good.
Fuck.
Unfortunate, but true.
What I was gonna say, there was an animated film of Street Fighter 2 that I remember watching.
Yeah.
That was
a good one.
Yeah,
that was a good one. No, I'll give you that one. I watched that a lot too.
And you know what else could be argued as being?
I think I probably had my
spotty
sexual awakening when there's like a Chun-Li shower scene and Vega attacks her in the shower.
Oh god,
it's crazy. But then she like 100. You know that the I don't even know what the move is called.
Not crane kick.
No, the 100 kick, like the 100 hand slap, except with your feet.
Which turns upside down and starts
No,
spinning?
with one leg.
Oh, that!
Yeah,
my bad.
I don't remember what that's called. But she does that to him toward the end, and it's brutal. She totally fucks him up. But yeah, no, I watched that movie a lot as a kid, and I consider that a good film.
That was a good.
But if I were to revisit it now, it probably doesn't hold up.
I was drunk when I watched it, but
that tends to make things a little bit better.
That's true.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's why we drink during the podcast.
That's right. That's right.
Makes us feel we're doing so good.
We're entertaining.
That's a good segue. Atul, what are we drinking?
Oh, we are drinking. So before, as in last season, like I think we're officially in winter. It's December. Whatever the fuck today. December 7th.
7th. Fuck. I got a meeting tomorrow.
Don't you dare name the number. This episode number because you
no I've done that too many times. We've screwed that up. This is episode X.
It's between episode 10 and 2000, right? That gives us a good.
We're good there.
Yeah, we're good. This is the Great Lakes Brewery winter ale. So we had you can probably see it back here. We had the 2 fall pumpkin ales, and they are very good. So like their seasonals are very good. Their winter ale is no different. It's amazing. It's kind of got that cinnamony sort of. It's like Christmas in a bottle.
It is,
and
that's a good way to
alcohol.
Put it.
Yeah,
it's not too sweet though. I always find that like the seasonals, like
they
especially Christmas,
they really pour it in.
Yeah.
This one is like it's a little restrained. Yeah, it is a little restrained.
It's nice.
It's good. So. Yeah, I think that's it. I mean, like, not much else going on.
The news has been uneventfully boring, so there's nothing.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's stuff that I see and I forget, and
there's nothing that's made me. You know what was interesting? And I sent you this link yesterday, and I'm just springing this on you now. There was just a thing that popped up on my Google about Gal Gadot and Henry Cavill basically like wanting $175 a pop just to get a photo with them and an autograph. Like it's $175 for an autograph and $175 for a picture. And it's like, it's one of these things that like I can see both sides of the coin on that argument as to like the fans being like, what the fuck? Why is it that expensive? But the thing is I don't think they get paid to go to those things.
No,
at this point,
I don't think. Yeah,
right?
I don't know exactly how it works. They're not the first to charge for that kind of stuff.
No, they're definitely not.
And they're not the first who probably don't need to charge for that kind of stuff who are charging for that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like, they're not like they're not 80s action film stars that don't have any work anymore. They're not like the Power Rangers, like that don't get film credits anymore or anything like that. So they're working actors and they get paid handsomely for, I don't know where I'm going with this, but they get paid handsomely with
coasters, folks. You got to put these
that.
fucking coasters when you're putting stuff on fancy tables.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Christ.
This table flip. I'm out of here.
You got fucking short arms. Motherfucker. Here, take this.
Give me that.
Protect your table, man.
Protect your neck. All right. Sorry. Anyway, yeah, so they're not the...
Motherfucker. Sorry. Continue.
Are you done?
Say nothing.
Are you done?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
So, they're not the first to do it. It is a hefty sum. I just think it's generally bullshit. Like I wouldn't ever.
I wouldn't. No, I would never pay to go and get a picture.
No,
with somebody.
But there are a lot of people that will, and whether it's the right thing or to do or not, I'm sure there is like, like Mark Hamill was doing it at New York Comic Con when we were there.
This was like 70, 75 or something.
Yeah. So it's like
Ray Fisher. Like I think Ezra Miller was doing like 70 something, and Ray Fisher was like 60 something.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, I mean, the actors know their value, right?
Yeah.
Those guys aren't Henry Cavill or Gal Gadot. So
yeah, I mean,
but the thing is like, is it worth it for them if they're not getting paid for that? What's their typical hourly rate, right? Yeah. Based on like if like how much do they work on a film, how much do they get paid for the film, and break that down and say shit like. Maybe just snapping a picture and having a 5-minute conversation with somebody is actually worth $175 of their time.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I'm not. Like I'm kind of neither here nor there on that.
Yeah,
it's kind of shitty. Like
it's shitty. But
imagine it wasn't. Imagine it was free. The line would be out the door.
Line would be out the door.
Nobody, and like a lot of people who want to meet them will not get to meet them.
Exactly.
It just I don't know. You kind of have to split the difference. I don't really care.
No,
to be honest. Yeah. I'm just like, if I ever saw that, I'd be like, that's cool. If you want to do it, if you want to pay, go for it. But I would never be interested in that.
No, not my thing.
All right, so shall we jump in?
Yes.
Yes. All right.
Sorry, I nodded.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Thor Ragnarok. A hella good time, most of the time.
Nice. You haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, it's been a little while. Yeah, so how did I feel about this movie? Generally, non-spoilery edition, generally enjoyable, but I did have some serious problems with this movie. I'm in the I liked it sort of range. I'm in the yay sort of range. Yeah. But there's some shit in this movie that took me out of it several times, and it's really more of a spoof. It's like National Lampoon's Thor Ragnarok. Almost like it reaches those levels of like lunacy, which is kind of fun and cool. But I guess maybe I wasn't ready for that type of movie, and I can get into some details when we get to the spoiler section. But generally, there were things in this movie that were close to taking me out of it, but none of it actually like pulled me out so far as I came out not enjoying the film. It was a fun time at the theater. I think I probably like this a little less than Justice League, to be honest, if I were to compare the two. But I think that's only because I grew up with the Justice League characters, and Thor was like a late addition for me.
True.
Through characters alone, like I'm gonna like Justice League because it's filled with characters from my childhood.
Right.
Both movies have problems. I have issues with both films, but in the end, characters sort of do it for me. So, just as a measuring device for anyone who listened to the Justice League podcast. But yeah, generally liked it. But fun time at the theater, but some definite problems.
I think I liked it a little bit more than you, but I'm in the same boat. It was not a perfect movie by any stretch of the means.
It's never going to be, and I don't have those expectations when I get in there. But it's just like there's just some stuff where I was like,
yeah,
why? Like why did they choose to do that?
There was also some very questionable CG. Like we were going into Justice League worried about their CG,
that. Yeah,
but Thor's had some bad shit.
Yeah, it had some like janky stuff. But that's why I didn't take Justice League, I didn't throw the book at Justice League.
No.
So like there are moments in this, and we talked about the moments in Justice League that were kind of, janky and weird.
Yeah.
We can get into those here, but I feel like again, it's more about scope and I kind of come into these movies expecting, not everything to look hyper realistic,
Yeah.
But you're right. There's some janky CG in there.
CG. What'd you think of the acting?
Oh boy,
what's her name? Cate Blanchett.
Yeah, no, she was great.
She was fucking
awesome. That's one of the things I totally like. I like generally kind of what I liked. If I were to list what I liked the Hulk when he's the Hulk. I like Jeff Goldblum. He's reached Christopher Walken status, being a caricature of himself. He's just playing himself.
Yeah.
Which is fun. It's fun. It's nice to see him having a good time in a movie because he's not in a lot of movies anymore. It's nice to see him on screen like having a good time. And Hela was great. I thought Cate Blanchett was great.
She crushed it.
She did a great job. She looks like she's having a tremendous amount of fun. It's really what Justice League was missing, like a personality.
Yeah.
And she had it in spades. She was having a great time playing that role, and so was the audience. Kind of love to hate her.
Yeah, she was very all over the place too, which was like it seemed like a part of her character. Like she was kind of like she'd go into fits of
bipolar.
Bipolar,
almost.
yeah, that's a good way to put it. And it's
right.
just like she'd go into fits of rage and just like badass, and then other times she'd be just kind of ho hum about it.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I don't know. I really dug it. The look was good. They did. I liked the head dressing or the headpiece.
Yeah, I was going to get into that, but yes, like her headpiece, and it's a very I always appreciate unique design elements on these films, and I would compare I don't know if I'm ruining anything, I don't know the spoiler, but the way the way she puts her helmet on, or essentially she pulls her hair back and the horns come out of the sides, and I'm like, that was absolutely brilliant. I loved that. Every time she did that, I was absolutely loving it, and I would compare it to a movie that's definitely lesser than this film, but it has one or two unique moments. Suicide Squad. In Suicide Squad, when the Enchantress turns into the Enchantress, they have that one transformation moment where the Enchantress's hands come out from the bottom of the human's hands, grips her and flips over, and she's changed. And I'm like, that was a very unique thing, which they never did for the rest of the film, which is really kind of a missed opportunity. Mm-hmm. But I would compare it to that level of uniqueness. Fantastic stuff. It's great. I really like that.
Yeah, and the headpiece is straight out of comics. Like that's I give him credit for that.
Looking at it on the screen here. Yeah.
So it's she was great. Hiddleston steals the fucking show again, man.
Yeah, he's getting. You know what? I feel like his hair is just getting greasier and greasier.
And his smile's getting slicker and slicker. Like there's just something about the dude.
Yeah, that guy is just all lubed up and ready to sell you a car. That's what he is, and it's just it makes me really uncomfortable when I see him, and he's slick.
He's very slick. He's definitely got a.
He's got a.
You can't not like the guy.
Slip and slide look about it.
I mean, that's why he's the best villain in the whole Marvel universe.
Sure, yeah. No,
he's the guy that people want to keep coming back to. He's the only one that they really haven't. I don't want to say haven't killed off. I don't think they killed off the Abomination yet, but he's the only villain that you really still care about, aside from Hela. Hela's the other one I'd put into that conversation.
Yeah, I don't think I would agree. I think Hela's a one-note villain that has a lot of personality.
I could see her coming back.
Yeah. Well, not that she wouldn't come back.
Yeah.
I mean to say that she doesn't have nearly as much...
charisma?
No, it's not charisma. It's like she doesn't have an arc of any kind. Like, I think Loki's appeal is that he looks like he has an arc and then he stabs you in the back.
Yeah.
And he's got this, like, push-pull thing going on. And Hela's, like, there's nothing about that character that's interesting in that way. What's interesting about her is her personality and her charisma.
True.
But she is evil through and through and not interesting because of her character. She's interesting because she has such vibrant personality.
Yeah.
That's my take on it.
That's a good take. I can't argue that.
Yeah, I mean there was some comedy that didn't hit for me. The CG wasn't so good in areas, and again that's not a make or break for me.
No.
I did have a really I had one thing that nearly teetered me to a nay on this film. I can mention here because it's not spoiler worthy, but it's Mark Ruffalo's performance.
Oh.
It's genuinely, unequivocally awful. It is an awful performance. He seemed like he just kind of sauntered into an SNL sketch, without a script, without a script.
Yeah.
Like he just kind of wandered in, and he's like, "Oh, okay, we're gonna I'm just gonna be the straight guy, playing off of this craziness that's happening around me," and it's like bad sitcom acting.
Yeah.
That's what it is. I almost expected a pre-recorded laugh track, every time he would respond to something, and his mouth is sort of just agape, and he's got these awful readings of these lines. Almost I don't know. I don't know if I really have more to say about it. It's just, it was so bad that I couldn't even believe that was happening, and I think he was instructed to do that.
Yeah.
I actually think that was the direction that was given to him. Because he's an amazing actor.
He's a great actor.
Yeah,
sure.
the thing that pops up into my head right away is Spotlight. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
Yeah.
He's incredible in that movie. He's a great actor. And he's played Banner with more...
He was great in the Avengers.
Character.
Yeah.
I mean, but somehow in this film, it's a SNL sketch level, nonsense. And I couldn't believe it.
There were times that, I would agree with you, but I came to accept it in a way that he was very... What's the best way to put it? He basically just came out of a 2-year bender in which he wasn't conscious, and then all of a sudden he is, and he's in a place that he has no idea how to conceive it. So you'd think the guy'd be a little bit off the wall.
Sure, but
he was definitely playing off the wall. I
didn't even get that. I didn't get that he was playing off the wall. What I got was, it was oh, I think this will be funny if I have this reaction to this thing, and I'll play that reaction as if I'm shooting for
as things progressed.
I'm shooting for the audience member at the back of the room. It's I'm in an SNL sketch and it's live performance, and I've got to and it's just by lieu of the situation and who I am, it's funny. And I'm no, it's not. It's awful. You're being awful.
Yeah,
stop it.
It made sense at the beginning. I really like the scene where he first comes out of it, right? When they're in the ship.
Yeah.
That was genuine to me. I was like, fuck yeah, he is weird right now. Things aren't right in his head. But after they get out,
he kind of stays like that.
It's the same note. Yeah. And that's when things start going to be wait a minute. Now you're kind of not, that doesn't make sense. At this point, the character of Bruce Banner, and as you've seen him performed in the other films, would have adapted to this in some form or fashion. Right. And he hasn't.
Yeah.
So to me, it just was... it made a lot of sense, and I thought was quite good at the beginning. And he plays that role of being kind of coming out of a huge 2-year days, really interestingly. But that's the only note he hits, and then at that point, it's wait a minute, that's not where you want to be.
Interesting is a word for it.
Interesting, sure.
I mean, I gotta disagree with you. When he came out of that daze and his first few lines were delivered, I was what the fuck is going on? I wasn't, and it's not that, I mean, it's just, purely, I mean, my opinion, but I was so taken aback by his take on it that it just like it never connected with me at all.
True.
Alternatively, the Hulk is great. I think the scenes with the Hulk is fantastic. We can jump into spoilers and I'll tell you exactly what I liked about it, but that was great. The CGI character was a much better performance than the human character, and I swear to God, this is like the first time. I'm trying to think if there's another thing where that's the case. I mean, you could make that argument for like Gollum, but you know, like Gollum or like a Caesar from like Planet of the Apes, like the new series. They are humanoid,
yeah,
and like roughly the size of a human being. Hulk's proportions are astronomical compared to a human being. So it's tough to say that, oh yeah, Caesar was really good. Was he better than some of the people in his own film? I don't know. I haven't seen the last one, but I wouldn't say so. I'd say he's on par with everyone.
Yeah.
I'd say definitively that the Hulk, a grotesque,
that's not very nice.
Yeah, that's not very nice. What I was trying
to get across. Green listeners, giant bodybuilding green listeners. Yeah. Lou Ferrigno might be listening right now.
You think Lou Ferrigno is just kind of painted green all the time? Does he just wake up in the morning and paint himself?
No, not all the time. Nish actually met him in the airport, and he wasn't painted green. But I think at home, he's got like a green like spray tan. So he just fucking goes in
every morning. He gets into his shower.
If you could like live your day as the Hulk, why wouldn't you?
Well, you're going to live it as Hulk and not as fucking Bruce Banner, because this movie makes you never want to be him. He's awful. He is an awful person. Anyway, yeah, so that's where I stand on Bruce Banner.
I don't think either of us are going to convince either of us that that one take is better than the other. Right. I didn't mind it coming out. I thought it was funny. That's the thing, is I thought it was funny and made sense. But the thing is when you do the same joke over and over again, it becomes no longer amusing or funny. Sure. That's kind of the way I looked at it. And that's why, like, I agree with you after that scene, and he kept on hamming it up. I'm like, dude, you gotta tone it down. So
I'm with you, but imagine never finding it funny.
That's the thing. That's what I'm saying. Like,
that's the difference.
This is not even this is an agree to disagree.
Right. Okay, so those are their general feelings. Do you want to, maybe we'll just do a quick bonus round and then jump into spoilers?
Yes.
Why do you look confused?
Because I'm thinking if there was something non-spoilery I wanted to mention. No. And Chris Hemsworth is Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, he's Thor. He's doing his thing.
Same shit.
Yeah.
If you've seen him in the other movies, it's Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
All right, bonus round.
All right. So, bonus round. So, I've mentioned before, and we did another bonus round on something called Tales from Beyond the Pale, which was an series of audio drama seasons based in horror. So, I actually love the audio drama format. I listen to a lot of them. I try to find them, when I can. And I basically found one from a studio called The Blood Crow Stories. I don't know if they're called, that's the studio name. Sorry, that's the name of the series. It's called The Blood Crow Stories. They've released a full season called the SS Utopia, and it's an anthology series where each season is a different story. I don't know if the seasons tie in with each other at all, because I'm almost done season 1 at this point. But when I get into season 2, I can give you guys an update and see if they tie in. But at this point, I think they are separate stories. So just to give you a quick lowdown of the first, and it is a horror drama podcast, essentially. So I'm just going to read the little synopsis here for the USS Utopia, which is the first season. First season highlights the story of the the SS Utopia. A cruise ship in the early 1900s, modern-day college student Max begins to do his thesis on the audio diaries of the passengers on the ship. What he didn't know were the horrors that were waiting for him among the tapes, and why the ship sank so mysteriously about 100 years ago. So it's a modern-day thesis-writing student that's listening to audio tapes from the early 1900s of all these people on this ship, and they're trying to escape the war. And they all go on the ship, and it's just like, think of the giant, like, modern for the time, even almost like on the tip of technology at the time, cruise ship, and it's different audio tapes from different folks. There's a lot of drama there, but there's also a supernatural presence on the ship, and it starts playing out in the tapes and bleeding into other areas of the reality. So it's really interesting, really well put together, man. These guys have done a really wonderful job of setting the tone. The voice acting is, on the most part, is really great. It's not perfect. For a long-running audio drama series like this, you don't have the benefit of visuals, so there's some things you need to do that are sort of cheesy sometimes from the audio perspective to give people settings and perspective, right? Sometimes they'll describe what they're seeing out loud, but, typically people wouldn't, say that out loud.
Oh my god, that is the largest bipedal monster thingy with a lot of hairs, and he has 3 eyes, and look at those fangs. Oh my god, I should run.
Yeah. Stuff like that. And I think that there's really no way around it. I've heard a lot of audio dramas, and it's like, I think it's just a crutch that the medium just is inherent with the medium, and figuring out ways around that is being really sort of, you have to be inventive. And for the most part, they are quite inventive. The sound design is very good. So, and some of it has been like, some of it is actually, quite scary. It can get under your skin a little bit. And it's very progressive in its like dealings with drama and sexuality and relationships. I won't get into too many details there for fear of potentially spoiling something. But so it's really great. It's written by Ellie Collins. And she's also a voice on the show, and the sound director is Scott Moore. And these guys have put together a wonderful team of like voice actors, and the sound design is top notch. And it's really just, it's great. The episodes are between 25 to 30 minutes each. I highly recommend you guys. There's even a trailer for it, so you can play the trailer, have a listen, see if it's kind of your thing. I think there may be 20 episodes. I can't remember. I'm just looking it up now for the first season. 19 episodes.
20.
Play
the tape.
Hey?
I don't know. That's the name of it.
Oh, yes. Sorry. Sorry, yes. 20 episodes for the first season, and they've already gone a few episodes into their second season, which is called Black Chapel. And I have no idea what it's about because I haven't heard a trailer or anything for it yet. But highly recommend it. Very atmospheric. Good stuff. I've been listening to it in the car, listening to it on the bus when I'm like going to work. Sometimes I listen to it at work. If I'm doing something sort of monotonous that doesn't require, like reading of any kind, I'll throw the story on. It's really great. Gets very atmospheric. So,
is this something that's like presented in a podcast format?
Yes, that's right. So you can look them up on any podcast application, iTunes, whatever it is that you got. Probably the same stuff you find us on.
Perfect.
And you can also download the episodes directly from their website. It's free. Tune in, listen, support them, because this is a medium that really I really love. And honestly, this is the kind of thing that I want to do one day. I want to write. I mean, maybe not write. I'm not super imaginative and not a particularly good fiction writer. But I'd love to create an audio drama of some kind. If somebody had some original material that we could work with, because there's nothing sets an atmosphere quite like it. So
sweet.
Yeah, so that's it. That's the big sell for today.
The Blood Crow Stories.
The Blood Crow Stories, Season 1, the SS Utopia. Check it out.
Pointing at the microphone doesn't help a podcast. It's audio. What are you doing?
Stop it. Put those guns away, my friend.
All right, guys. This is the spoilery version of our Thor review / discussion.
All right. Thor's all chained up.
This was the place where I started complaining about the CGI. I was
waiting for that. I'm like,
pissed me off.
Yeah. So he's all chained up in this thing that looks like a knockoff of the Riddick prison from Chronicles of Riddick.
I'm glad you caught that too.
Oh, dude, total. Even when he like whips himself down. Yeah.
Except in Riddick,
he gets out.
That was his plan. He was the one that he brought himself up to the bottom. He's like,
right.
I'm gonna whip my ass out. Mm-hmm. Fucking so good.
That scene was pretty great. Much. Yeah. That's the first thing it reminded me of, and it sets its comedic tone right away. He's talking, and I also have to say again, I don't want to sound like I'm ragging on this film because there's a lot of stuff I liked, but they do obvious comedic things here that just seemed kind of like beneath the director, whose stuff I love. I love Taika Waititi stuff. I own What We Do in the Shadows.
I just watched it. It's fucking
great. That movie makes me cry with laughter every time I saw it. Every time I see it.
The werewolf scene.
It's so good. It's so good, and it's like. It's just amazing. And then The Hunt for the Wilder People is on Netflix. And
I still have to see that.
I watched that with my wife, and she enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it. And his comedy definitely tickles me in the right spots. Huh. Tickles my pickles, if you will.
God damn you and your pickles.
And I just... some of this stuff is just obvious. Like, talking to the skeleton. Like, I knew he was talking to a skeleton. Like,
I didn't. Who do you talk to when you're in a cage? Anybody that's around.
No, but what I mean to say, the setup
come here often.
The setup is obvious, where it's someone talking to the camera, and it's a setup for a joke, like talking to a baby, talking to a dog, talking to, and I'm like, oh, that's not like him, like because he's so unique and like strange with his comedy, which definitely comes out in the film.
There's some.
It does, but you know, like at the end of the film, I'm skipping ahead, where you know, like Hulk jumps out of the ship. And like I knew exactly what was going to happen, and like it was just so obvious.
And they done that already. They did that in the Edward Norton.
Oh yeah, because he does it. Yeah, that's right.
Exact same thing.
It was
more dramatic.
Yeah,
it was. There was still that oh shit moment, which was kind of funny. This one tried to play it out even funnier.
It was way more comedic.
He hits the fucking the Rainbow Bridge super hard.
Yeah, like it sounds like a bird shitting on your car.
Yeah, exactly.
It just like he hits the bridge. Anyway, I was jumping ahead there. Sets its comedic tone right away, and sets some of the obvious comedic tone right away. So you jump in. He's having a conversation with
Surtur? No, yeah, Surtur.
I thought it was Ghost Rider.
No,
he's having a conversation with Ghost Rider, and you have a problem with this right away.
Yeah, the CG there just looked really like that. I know I complain about CG here and there, and it's just usually it's a gripe. This is something that really bugged me. Like that scene, like it was him on a fucking green screen, and it drove me nuts.
Yeah.
By the way, did you know Clancy Brown? Clancy Clown. Clancy Brown voiced Surtur. Yeah.
He didn't sound that good.
No.
I was expecting like a more imposing, because he's got an imposing voice.
I don't think it was his fault though. I mean, he does have an imposing voice, but I think that they didn't give him the right lines.
Oh, they made him look like a goofball.
They bitched him out.
Which
waiting for Thor. Okay, so
it pays off later because you don't consider him a real threat.
Yeah,
and then he becomes a real threat. Yeah, and I think they did that on purpose, just to be like, this guy's a fucking tool.
Yeah,
so, like,
yeah. And that was a good.
You don't get. I don't know. Clancy Brown has got. He's got the God's gift to man in terms of voice.
Oh, good lord!
Yeah. His Lex Luthor is just. It's iconic. I would say it's just as iconic as Hamill's Joker. So it's amazing.
Yeah.
They should just dub over every Lex Luthor's.
When I read comics with Luthor or the Joker, those are the voices I hear in my head, along with Conroy and Batman. So
yeah, you hear a lot of voices in your head.
I sometimes do. Depends on the day.
Are you hearing them now? I fucking hope not. No. Get the hell out of my house, you psycho.
Not right now.
Okay.
Maybe later. Anyways, so the CG aside, like I said, just looked like bad green screen and just a lot of it. There was just a lot of it. Yeah. It was just basically Chris Hemsworth in a room with nothing else around him.
Yeah.
And that was it.
It seemed empty.
Yeah. It just didn't seem like there was anything there. And
big movies have these problems,
man. But some of them do it well, and some of them don't. Yeah. Like the fucking apes and stuff in like Planet of the Apes. Anytime there are humans in those scenes, they're surrounded by, but it looks good. Yeah. Like it doesn't look like it's all green screened out.
I think this problem happens again in a more noticeable fashion, especially for me in the arena fight with the Hulk.
Yeah,
which
absolutely.
is just because you look at a movie like Gladiator.
Yeah,
and that movie is still convincing in terms of its special effects.
Yes,
that's because I think a lot of that set was like a piece of it was built.
Yeah,
it's real and.
They used it essentially as like minor set decoration, whereas it's very much the entire set.
It's the entire set.
It's everything.
Yeah, and
it's like Star Wars. Sorry, not Star Trek.
The prequels.
The prequels. Yeah, like that was
entire CG sets.
Yeah,
and Justice League has some of that problem.
Absolutely,
as well. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So So anyway, he talks to Surtur, who's supposed to be the bringer of Ragnarok, and takes his head.
Takes his crown.
His crown. Yes. I haven't seen this movie in a while, so maybe you should do this discussion. Yeah.
I'll do what I can. So anyways, he takes his crown. That's when he goes back to oh my goodness, Asgard.
He goes back to Asgard
and finds.
We are introduced to my other huge problem with this movie, which is the character of Scourge, who is completely useless. Like his practicality in this movie, like.
He's the fucking janitor for 90% of the film.
Yeah, no, he does nothing. No. Like, his character does nothing. All his character does, and it's the only thing I can think of, all he does is give Hela someone to talk to so that her motivations can be fleshed out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, there was no arc. Like, his character has zero impact.
No.
And I was just like, and it's such a waste because I fucking love me some Karl Urban.
He's the man.
Karl Urban is the fucking man, and he is given nothing to do other than follow Kate Blanchett around like a sad puppy.
Yeah. Yep.
That's a good way to put it.
Yeah. They didn't give him nearly enough to do.
And even his whole like ending arc thing, zero impact.
You know what?
Like,
that ending arc was just to satisfy like a portion of I think they were actually going through Ragnarok in the comic books where the Executioner gets those weapons from Earth.
Oh, I was almost entirely sure it was from the comics.
That's what I mean. That was a fan service thing, but at the same time it was used poorly.
There was no I mean, if he just wasn't in the
it was
final
shoehorned
battle,
in, like for no reason. There was no real reason that had to happen. Mm-mm. So. Yeah, that was just the wrong way to do it, and it was a waste of Karl Urban completely.
It's just really too bad because, and speaking of which, right in that, sorry, I'm skipping him. My bad. So we're introduced to Scourge.
That's when he gets back onto Asgard.
God damn it!
Fucking words are all complicated. Gets back onto Asgard.
Yeah.
And first, it's revealed that what's his name? Not Odin. Oh my goodness. Sees everything.
Oh, Heimdall.
Yeah. He is not
missing.
There. He's gone.
He's missing.
For some reason, he had a beef with what was going on in Asgard, and he pieced out.
Fucked off, yeah.
And then that's when it's revealed that, first of all, let's talk about the cameos real quick.
Oh, yeah.
Those cameos are great. That was Sam Neill.
That was Sam Neill's cameo.
Sam Neill is Odin.
I saw it. I'm like, oh, that's cool, but he's not going to have a scene with Jeff Goldblum.
No, I know.
Like, fuck.
And then one of the it was Luke Hemsworth played Thor in the scene.
Yeah.
And
that's right.
Matt Damon out of nowhere
playing Loki.
Yeah, playing Loki.
That was
blew me away. I was like, what the
random.
Fuck? Like, how is this? Anyways,
completely random. You know what I do like about this movie? They use the relationship that Thor has with his hammer in interesting ways. Like how it always comes back to him.
Yeah.
They use it in especially his threat to Odin, who is being impersonated by Loki. He throws the hammer and stands in front of Loki, like waiting for the hammer to come back.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool. They do interesting things with that throughout the film. I like that. I like that quite a bit. So it's revealed that Odin is not Odin. It's Loki. Everyone and everyone is aghast.
Except for the audience.
That's right. And it forces Loki to help him find their father. So they go looking for Odin.
And he left him somewhere on Earth at like a retirement home or...
Yeah, it seems oddly human.
I'm going to say a retirement home. It could be a different type of place. Right. But let's say a retirement home. He goes and the whole place is been devastated. It's no longer...
Oh, it's like, it's torn to the ground.
They basically tore it to the ground. I guess they were renovating. And then, all of a sudden, Loki gets swept away to God knows where, and then Thor finds him in the... Sanctum Sanctorum?
Yeah, the New York Sanctum or whatever. Yeah.
And then enter Doctor Strange.
Yep.
This was the best scene in the movie
it was
for
fun.
me.
It was definitely fun. I enjoyed it. I like Thor's beer filling itself. I thought that was pretty dope.
I'd love that in my house, man.
Automatic filler of beer.
We keep pouring beer like suckers.
Like suckers.
What if this kept refilling?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, so that was a pretty great scene where he's warping. I don't think I really liked the effect of him warping to different places because it was just like a pop, and it was just kind of like the next frame was a different set.
Yeah,
and I was just like, oh, I thought that was an odd creative choice.
It was an odd creative choice.
I guess it was sort of meant to be disorienting.
And here's why I liked it being so as disorienting as it was, because to Strange it was just like, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go here, and then Thor's getting all disoriented.
Yeah,
and he is so fucking pompous. And
Thor or Strange?
No, Strange. Okay. He's so pompous and just like almost arrogant about how much he knows. And you can't just come to Earth and bring this person here. He's a blah 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 blah. And he's disorienting Thor visibly, right? Yeah. And then at the end, he just kind of casts them away. And here's your father. Go get out of here.
Yeah.
And it's just like, to me, like in the film Doctor Strange, he goes from being that pompous person to having to become the student and having to build himself up, and now he's there. He's essentially the expert in the magical realm now, where he was as a surgeon, and he's the same dude again.
He's the same guy,
and that's interesting to me. Like, I like that. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah. I noticed that I'm like, oh, he's kind of like the way he was at the beginning of Doctor Strange, and you know what? You've got like 3-4 minutes to like make an impact. That's Doctor Strange's MO. Yeah. Like, even if he grew as a character in his own movie, and you're not going to use the benevolent character he's sort of starting to become. You're going to be like, I want him to be a pompous asshole. Yeah. Because that's his shtick, and we need these personalities to clash, so they're going to stick to that, which I found fine. It was good. Yeah, it was a good choice.
I like that idea.
So then they go to a field, a cliff,
the park bench on the cliff,
and find a beach-worthy Odin. I would say. I think he was wearing like a hemp suit or something like that.
He was looking comfy.
He looked like a Colombian drug lord.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. He was definitely puddling drugs. That's why they shut down the old age home.
That's right.
Odin, you can't be selling fucking drugs out of this old age home. What are you doing? No, but this is okay. Here, have some of it. I don't want your cocaine. What are you doing?
So
the cops are going to shut us down. Skip ahead 2 days of tearing down the fucking place.
Oh, man. Yeah.
So anyways, they find Odin. They have this really nice, heartfelt conversation where it's revealed that he actually had this daughter, Hela, who essentially is going to be the downfall of Asgard. And, he's also dying, and peace out.
See ya.
You're not going to see Anthony Hopkins again for the rest of the film.
This is slightly anticlimactic.
Very.
It was pretty anticlimactic, but it's, you know what, I feel like the third movie in any series just like sheds its skin, and again, this is another obvious thing in the film. It's like, okay, I'm going to kill all these characters that you guys knew from before. Yeah. But somehow maintain this, zany National Lampoon tone, right? I mean, when Hela comes back, we'll get into this later, she like mercilessly kills the Warriors 3 right away. Pissed off. And I was like, wow. All right, I mean, like, there wasn't even a fight there. There was nothing. Odin is taken out. So basically, all of these old, established.
They're established.
Characters.
They've been in at least 3 films.
Yeah, and
maybe 2. 2, I'll say. Yeah, I don't think they were in any of the Avengers films.
Yeah, and they're off pretty quickly and pretty
without
any fanfare. So. Those guys probably did like 10 minutes of shooting on that show. Anyway, so she pops up. Her entrance is pretty grand and cool, and
shatters Mjolnir without even trying.
Shatters Mjolnir.
That was an interesting.
Yeah, that was like the whole like stopping it. Yeah. You know what that reminded me of? Remember Alien Resurrection, where Ripley's playing basketball. She catches the basketball. I feel like that's the exact same shot. Where she's like palming the basketball. Yeah. It's the exact same shot, and except Mjolnir explodes.
Yeah, but at least in this one, it's a little bit magical. Whereas in that one, it's like she can't palm that.
She
basketball.
can't palm.
She's tall. She's like
she's tall. Her hands are
almost
huge.
6 feet tall. Yeah, I'm 6'1". I can palm a basketball. Yeah, but in that case, no, she wasn't.
The way she was,
her hand was not digging into the ball.
That's right.
Palm it.
That's right. No, it wasn't. She can do it, but like that was definitely
she was barely
adhesive.
Touching the ball.
Yeah, there was some adhesive on that one. But anyway, So she blows up Mjolnir, and stupidly Loki opens up the Bifrost and jumps through the portal. And
stupidly,
she would
have destroyed them. The movie would have been over there.
That's what she wanted them to do.
True. Yeah,
she chased them through the
saying.
Bifrost. She wanted them to get warped back to Asgard. That's why Thor tries to stop him. He doesn't stop him because, like, we should fight. He's like, don't open the portal because she's going to get to Asgard and she's going to fight.
I didn't think that at all.
That's the first thing that I thought.
Well, Thor's a dumbass. I thought he just wanted to
He's
fucking
grown
fight.
as a character. He's not dumb.
He's still dumb.
Hulk isn't grotesque and Thor isn't dumb, okay? We're past all of this.
You're the one that says he's grotesque.
You're the one that says Thor is dumb.
He is a dummy.
He's not a dummy.
He's a big dum-dum.
He is not. He's not. He's actually not that stupid in this movie.
I'm pretty sure he wanted to fight Hela.
Yeah, but he didn't want her to get to Asgard. So it's like, okay, maybe we can fly. He can fly.
He can't fly without Mjolnir.
Oh shit! Yeah.
He doesn't even fly. He just throws Mjolnir and holds on to the end. That's really what he does.
So basically, when you have like a group project, you're working on a group project. Are you like, I'm basically the Mjolnir of this project. You're riding on my coattails. I got this guy. He does nothing. I'm gonna use later.
Oh god.
Really, it's all the hammer. Like he does nothing.
All hammer.
Even the flying, it's all
hammer. Until the end of the film.
Sure, until the end of the film, right?
So anyways, he's going up the Bifrost, and that's when they get thrown off course, and then he lands in a fucking garbage pile.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden you're introduced to this other planet. I don't even give a fuck what the name of the planet is.
Yes, I don't. Sakaar.
Sakaar. And this is, to give you some comic book history, this is where the comic book World War Hulk is or Planet Hulk. Sorry, this would be Planet Hulk. Essentially what happens is Hulk gets essentially thrown away by some of the Illuminati group of superhero leaders in the Marvel Universe and say, look, you're too big of a problem. We're sending you to a planet where you'll be happy. Have a good time, Hulk. And he fucking flips out and he lands on Sakaar. And then the Planet Hulk thing ensues. In this case, they are applying this to the character Thor. That's fine. My problem with this is that you've got this whole Planet Thor storyline that we'll talk. Like, you've got that going on. But then you've got all this really big stuff happening on Asgard as well. These are two massive stories that you're trying to fit into one film.
Sure, yeah.
I didn't feel like as soon as you got off of the Odin, like, where's Odin? At that point, all of a sudden, you got these two stories with very, very complex and large-scale elements to them. And I don't feel either of them really get their due in the running time of the film.
Yeah.
It seems all very surface level for both of those
spots. For sure, yeah.
I don't like that.
It does.
Because the Planet Hulk books were fantastic. Like,
I even like that movie, that animated movie.
The animated movie's the animation's a little spot, but then again, all the Marvel animation's a little spotty for those films. Yeah. But the actual story, it was fairly true to the theme of Planet Hulk and the story to Planet Hulk. Whereas this one, it's just kind of surface level. It's just he kind of goes there, he fights the Hulk, and then he leaves.
Yeah.
There's no analysis of really what's going on at Sakaar. The big thing that they had was having a revolution and kind of like usurping the powers that are running the planet and all like that. That's the interesting thing that was in Planet Hulk, and I think could have been explored in this. Instead, you just get the surface level thing because he gets on the planet and now he gets to get off.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Hela's doing all this really crazy shit in Asgard, and they barely just scratch on it at all. Like the Warriors 3 get off, like you mentioned, in such completely poor fashion.
They just get they're like
these
garbage.
These are some of my favorite characters in the entire Marvel universe.
Yeah,
and Volstagg doesn't even get. He doesn't get a word. All he does is just go doot 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 with the sword.
Yeah,
and that's basically it. And then all of a sudden he just fucking boom, and then I don't even know Vendral or whatever the guy that looks like the swashbuckler. He looks like the guy from The Princess Bride.
Yes.
Anyways. But then Hogan, I think, is the name of the character.
The Asian guy?
Yeah, the Asian guy.
He gets in a pretty brutal fashion. Yeah.
But the thing is to me, that's how he should have gone out. He put up a
three of
fight.
them. Yeah.
But that's the thing is, all three of them should have been leading that charge with the army, and those three should have been the final three to go down.
Yeah.
But that uneventful bullshit, that was horrible. That was so poorly done. And it's because it's like, fuck, we can't spend any time on these people because we don't have enough time because we got to go back and forth between these two things.
Yeah. They can't afford to have like a throwdown between these characters, and it's a shame because those characters are pretty interesting and they're fun. And the issue I had with that is her fight with the army. I actually really did not like.
It was boring.
It was boring. It was so CG assisted to the point where she was like this bendy piece of elastic.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that I think, I mean, say what you want about Zack Snyder's like vision on his films, but he has gotten the closest to using CG doubles in his films and making it look convincing. Yeah. Like the Man of Steel fight, the Smallville fight in Man of Steel, I really do enjoy that. It is CG and you can see it.
You can see it at times.
But it's still more convincing than what I saw in this film, and I was just kind of out of it. I was like, oh, she murders like 1,000 people, and I was just kind of like, oh, okay, like I wasn't really into it. But yeah, no, there are action scenes I was into, like the ending and the space chase, like the ship chase and stuff like that. But this one I was not into. Yeah. So she murks everyone on Asgard, including the Warriors 3. And then we go back to and Scourge sort of becomes her sidekick, and she starts telling him her life story.
The only interesting thing I found on Asgard was when she got rid of the big mural on the ceiling.
I thought that was very cool.
That was cool, but again, these are two things that should have been broken out into, in my opinion, in their own movies or focused more on in a sole movie, because all we saw was a fucking ceiling. I would have loved to see like what actually happened, like flashbacks back to that, and making Hela even a more tragic character, being like, look, this is what my father made me. It's his fault that, like, that kind of stuff, like Sins of the Father kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like that would have been way more interesting.
They did some of that already in the first film. I feel like they tread that. They already went down that path.
But the thing is you don't see Odin in the light of just being a bloodthirsty warmonger. Even in that, it seemed like they were in the right trying to fight the frost giants, and then at that point he sees this tiny little baby and he's like, I can't kill this baby.
Right.
I need to take this with me. Like he, to me, at that point doesn't seem like he's in the wrong at any of that. Like it seems like he's fighting on the side of good.
Sure.
It's a war, whatever. But in this, it makes it look like I'm gonna fuck up a complete warmonger.
Yeah.
And that would have been interesting to see.
Yeah, that's true. It was, and it was only hinted at. He's already dead, and he's already got this benevolent sort of Jedi ghost sort of status. Yeah. One thing I did want to say is compare the intro to this movie to the intro of the first Thor film. The intro to the first Thor film was amazing. I fucking loved it. The frost giants. Laffy is the and his makeup is fantastic, and he looks great. He sounds great compared to the intro of this film, or even the second film. Not nearly as good.
No,
not nearly as good. Those practical effects. Laffy himself as a villain was played by Colm Feore, I think, who's a Canadian actor. I do really like him, and he's got a great voice. See, he something was definitely lost in translation there. Like this guy, this Ragnarok dude. I can't remember. Surtur. Yeah, not nearly as imposing. Sorry, but yes, you're right about that.
Yeah. So, and that's the thing is, like, now, like, we've essentially talked about, and we're not going back and forth in terms of the chronology of the film, because we've essentially covered everything that really happens on Asgard before Thor and his crew get back. So now we can talk about Sarkar. But that's what I mean is, like, those intermingling those two stories, they're so independent of each other.
Yeah.
That really, like, why put them both into a single film?
Yeah, I mean, it's...
I don't know.
I get why it's frustrating, but I also think, like this, and again, I'm making comparisons to Justice League because I saw them back to back. In the same way, Justice League gave I felt gave just enough of each character to establish like motivations. I think they gave just enough to each plot to get me invested. I get what you're saying, but I was along for the ride. The mural thing sort of set the tone. Again, Odin never answers for his warmongering.
Yeah.
He's never, and that's definitely an
missed
missed opportunity. Well, I don't even think it's something anybody wants to deal with. It's a complicated matter. You're right. It's just,
I'd love to deal with that shit.
It requires time, right?
Get Anthony Hopkins back in there and do that. Anybody that, like, dude, Anthony Hopkins?
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I'd love to see him get into that.
That's a complicated matter.
It is, I'm sure.
So, but you're right. It's kind of a throwaway, and there's no repercussions to finding out what your father has truly done.
Really?
So,
yeah. So, anyways, skip to Thor getting into Sakaar.
Yeah.
I keep calling it Sakaar.
Yeah.
He gets picked up by Scrapper 142, right? And that scene's kind of cool.
Yeah, that was fun.
But here's the big issue I have with that. How much promotion of drinking and driving has that woman, like, dude, she's fucking piloting a ship, and the first thing she's doing is she's hammered coming out of the ship, and she's still drinking.
She is blasted.
She's blasted. I'm like, that was the first thing I noticed. I'm like, ooh, that's in poor taste.
Yeah,
like,
she is blasted, and she's driving. She's flying.
Flying, not even driving.
Yeah, drinking and flying.
Driving, you have two dimensions to deal with.
Yeah.
When you're flying, you got a third.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So, anyways.
So, yeah, no, that was a cool.
The gun scene was really, that was neat.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool.
She picks him up and sells him to the
Grandmaster.
Who
Grandmaster Bloom.
The great scene where he's in the chair and he's like, "You're about to meet the Grandmaster," and he's like, "Oh!" He's like screaming in the chair. I thought that was really funny. Yeah. But that's a very like Taika Waititi thing to do, right? And I was like, that stuff made me laugh, and I was really into it. Then you meet the Grandmaster, and played by also known as Jeff Goldblum. It's just Jeff Goldblum playing Jeff Goldblum, and which is great. It was fun, and he's hilarious. He has this one scene where he melts a guy next to Thor. Like, there's a guy in the scene, it's his brother or something like that, isn't it? It's like a relative, cousin.
Yeah,
he calls him cousin or something like that. And he touches him with this staff thing, and he melts. And Thor starts freaking out. But I don't know if you noticed this. Maybe I'm remembering this wrong. But he says, "Oh my God," but he delivers it like that kid from Troll 2. Have you ever seen that scene from Troll 2?
Oh my
God. He delivers it exactly like that.
I'd have to see that.
He's
I
just
don't remember that at all.
"Oh my God." I'm like, what the hell is going on here? Like, I by this time I hadn't seen Bruce Banner, so that was my first taste of just like awful, like purposefully awful acting. I was like, what the hell was that? Like, I think when I saw that, I'm like, that's got to be an homage to Troll 2. Like, I mean, there's no way anybody would deliver that line like that.
But why
maybe I've got it wrong. You know, listeners, if you guys can comment, corroborate my story. I'd love to see that scene again, just to see if I was remembering it wrong. But it was like, that's the first thing I thought when I was in the theater. I'm like, what the hell? Was that a Troll 2 reference? Anyway, so he melts this guy in the seat. Just, another day in the life of the Grandmaster. And Thor is forced to compete in a Contest of Champions. And he goes into this arena, right? And, he finds out that the Scrapper 142 is actually Valkyrie.
Yes.
Yeah. So before he jumps into the thing.
Yeah.
And let me know if I'm skipping too much stuff.
No.
But he jumps in. He jumps into the arena. He gets his cool new helmet, which they don't explain where he got it from. He's just wearing it.
Yeah.
And
that looked like a custom job.
Yeah,
that was really something they should have addressed.
They treat their gladiators well. They do.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Jesus.
They give good haircuts and make great helmets.
Yes.
And then outbursts the Hulk. And they have that moment that's in the trailer.
Yeah.
Still funny, and they fight. And this is the scene that I kind of had a problem because this is like the centerpiece of the film in terms of like the same way like Batman vs Superman, that fight's sort of like the centerpiece of the film. And but this just suffers from like CG overload, bad green screen.
Yeah.
So I don't know why, but sometimes I feel like when it's like on him and it's on the side, I feel like I'm watching NBA Jam. Because I think people are taking pictures or there's flashes going off or something. I just like feels like, when you go up for the dunk.
The dunk, yeah.
It's just like, I just feel like I'm watching a game of NBA Jam. Because they're flying around and jumping around too. I'm like, are we playing NBA Jam? but it's still an entertaining fight. It's fun. It's fun to watch, and Loki's reaction to a lot of the stuff is funny. And I'm confused because after the fight, they're bunking together like a couple of college roomies, and I'm just confused why Hulk felt like he needed to keep fighting him, and then after when they get together, it's cool. Like, was there some? But they didn't really establish the consequences. It seemed like Thor wanted to fight. It seemed like the Hulk wanted to fight. It's like, it doesn't matter, I want to fight. But what was at stake? I wasn't sure because they didn't say, "Oh, I'll melt you," or I'll melt, or maybe that's what it was. I don't know. It just didn't seem. It seemed strange, like for them to just bunk together after. It's like, oh yeah, like, why didn't you stop fighting?
And then here's the other thing.
Why aren't we fighting right now if you want to fight me so bad?
And then the other interesting thing is, how did he get up there? Like, the Grandmaster would have had to okay that. What was his motivation to keep him around? And
get up there, into
the Thor's hotel room.
Yeah. It's just like, I don't know. It just seemed like a weird setup.
And it wasn't like the only reason I could think they would keep him is like, hey, he's an amazing gladiator. Let's keep him to be used. But they never do anything with him, so he's just fucking there.
He's just there, living the life.
Yeah, he's just literally like,
he's got
he fought one fight, and they're like, yo, you did good. Go up into his hotel room, order some room service, have a drink on us. Valkyrie doesn't drink all of it.
Yeah, he's got like a whole shelf of exotic booze.
Yeah,
that's pretty great.
That's another scene where Valkyrie chugs an entire, look like a handle of fucking whiskey.
Yeah, that's
and then she goes and drives them somewhere.
Yeah, that's right.
I don't know if she did that, but she did chug a fucking
They are
handle.
in close enough quarters that she would have still been intoxicated.
Oh, for sure.
She is a Valkyrie. We're not sure of the her organics and her digestive system is the same as
she'd still blow over.
Yeah, probably.
Over the legal limit. Anyways,
so they're up in the hotel room, just having a little party, and this is the part that I really loved about Thor and Hulk's interaction.
Yeah.
Thor just said, nobody on the Avengers likes you. He tells him, and Hulk's reaction to that is so funny and so sincere. Like, it's like, hey Thor, hey Hulk, I'm sorry. He shakes his head like a baby. He's like it's a kid, and I loved that stuff. That was great. In contrast to Banner stuff, which is just fucking awful and just makes Thor stuff look even better. Maybe that's what he was doing. I don't know. Maybe that's what they were trying to do. But the stuff was really endearing and funny, and the Hulk laughing at Thor, telling him to leave, and he runs into the force field and stuff. There's a lot of comedic elements there, and it worked. It was funny.
Yep. Agreed. We didn't even mention, because we kind of went past it, Korg and Meek.
Oh yes, that was my other big problem with this movie. Korg. And this is where I'm kind of let down, because Taika Waititi, again, just being the comedic genius that he is, I really enjoy his comedy. He plays Korg.
Yes.
And the problem with it is not that it's not funny, it's that it's stand-up comedy. It's literally he's camera's on him in profile, and he's just talking and waiting for people to laugh and delivering line and then a line and then a laugh and then a line and then a laugh. And I'm like, what is with the SNL, weird stand-up comedy vibe they have going with this movie? And it's not, none of it felt organic at all. And this isn't a shot at, the Rock Man not being organic. It just, the comedy wasn't organic, right?
Agreed. It like I said before, I can't remember what I said, felt shoehorned in, but this felt shoehorned in. It felt like Taika Waititi kind of being I need to get some of my kind of quirky humor in there. And I mean, it worked. It gave me some laughs, but at the same time, it also didn't fit the bill either.
Yeah, so I was like, I'd watch a stand-up I would watch Korg stand-up comedy. Korg stand-up, Netflix stand-up comedy special, right? I would watch that in a heartbeat.
Sure.
But in this movie, it just didn't work for me again.
No. That's about right.
Yeah. So what happens now? Basically, they try to escape, right?
That's when the escape happens. They onboard Loki for the escape as well.
That's right. Well, no. Sorry. I meant the escaping to get to the Quinjet, which introduces us
to back to your favorite character.
the Oscar-worthy performance.
Mr. Ruffalo.
Mr. Ruffalo as Bruce Banner, which is just god-awful. We talked enough about that.
So they get there, then they get... Oh, yeah, and then they meet Scrapper 142, and then that's when they corroborate with Loki.
Yep.
And then that's when they try and commandeer the Grandmaster's ship.
That's right.
So they go up, they do... What was it? Get help, get help?
Get help, yeah, get help. And he, like, throws him.
Yeah.
And, no, it's funny.
That was funny.
That's fun. No, there's funny stuff. And, like... And, we didn't really mention the score to the film, but it's got this really psychedelic, like...
Yeah.
70s, 80s, like, neon sort of, like, rock electronica vibe.
Yeah.
And it's just, like... It's pretty neat. It's pretty nifty. And they stick with that. And then with the guns all have different colored lasers. And, like, it's very psychedelic.
It's very psychedelic. That's the best way to put it. Yeah, it was... I liked it. And they were consistent, thankfully. Yeah. I liked that they were consistent with kind of the approach they took at that.
No, it was very cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is the point or this already happened, but you get Valkyrie's, like, side story and all of it. And this is the comment I want to make. And again, I keep coming back to this, but I can't help it. The scenes, like, with the Valkyries fighting Hela, this movie looks, the whole film, maybe not the whole film, but definitely key moments of the film look exactly like a Zack Snyder joint. Like, especially that flashback. That flashback. Sure. Hela's thing where she's attacking the army, where, the cloud, like, everything, the slow motion, like, and it looks kind of cool, and I kind of like it, and it just looks an awful lot like a Zack Snyder film.
Say what you will about Zack Snyder films, he can compose a shot really well.
It's wonderful, it's wonderful, and like I know a lot of people complain about Zack Snyder, but a lot of people like this movie, and I'm like, do you realize that a lot of it shares a lot of the things, and I think what folks might say is that it's the the characters and all of that add up to a better film, regardless of visuals. I guess for me, I can compartmentalize my feelings. I can say I like the visuals. I may not like the plot.
Right.
Like, but it looks remarkably like a Zack Snyder film in general. Like anyway, yeah. So you get her whole thing, and she was saved by another Valkyrie, and then she sort of like ran off, and so she has a history with Hela. So they commandeer the ship. Loki tries to backstab Thor again, and he's put down. I can't remember how.
Those electrical things that put him down.
Oh yeah, and I see.
Which, by the way, they fucking overused that.
That was
It was a little bit.
That was used a lot.
Yeah, I didn't dig that, but they used it at the right time there.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
okay. So yeah, they commandeer the ship. They get out. There's kind of a cool chase scene.
I actually like that.
Good.
I think they're really good. Again, I coming back to the Guardians of the Galaxy. I think that was one of the best like dog fighting spaceship battle things I've seen in a long time. This one was fun, but not nearly that level. Not as memorable as that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, it was definitely fun. It was a good time.
True.
When they, I do remember the moment when they turn on something in the ship, and it's like it's my the birthday. Like dancing, it's just starts shooting fireworks. I'm like, that was pretty funny. Oh God, sorry. There's one thing I gotta. After they escape here, was there anything else you want to talk about? The chase?
No. Go ahead.
They're gonna fly into the vortex, to the black hole, to get back to
anus.
This is my other big problem. I actually thought I was watching a South Park episode for a second. And I'm like, that's not the feeling I want to have when I'm watching this movie. He's like, oh, we're approaching the devil's anus. I'm like, where am I?
Yeah.
Am I watching? What am I watching? And I was like, another thing that took me right out of the film. It was called The Devil's Anus. I'm like, like your tones are so that. Like, homicidally murdering like all three, like the Warriors 3, and like without flinching, and then like talking about like a vortex called The Devil's Anus. It's like, I don't know, man. I feel like the tone is a little off, like sometimes. And like that line, it was just like threw me right out of it. I was like, they're flying into Devil's Anus. I'm like, was it supposed to be funny? I don't know. It did not hit with me at all. I was like,
I
weird. I'm like, it's a South Park
very
episode,
out of
South
place.
Park comedy.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this is where I was talking about like sort of like the National Lampoon's almost level of like lampoonery. But yeah, so I wanted to throw that out there because that's something that struck me.
I forgot about that. Yeah, that's a very good call out.
So they fly into the anus.
They fly into the anus, into the Asgard. And I forgot to mention, there was one other thing fucking Heimdall running around rescuing
Oh,
people.
yeah. That was cool.
That was cool.
I actually wanted to see more of that.
Yes.
I wanted to see more of that and less
that
of other
should have
things.
been its own friggin' movie.
Yeah.
Everything
You can't make a movie of everything. You know,
No. I meant everything going on Asgard, including Heimdall rescuing people and Hela taking over Asgard before Thor gets back. That's one movie.
Look, man.
I know.
I
know what you're going to say.
Food for all the refugees. Did you want to make a movie about him going grocery shopping?
I wouldn't have mind, dude. It's Idris Elba. I watch him grocery shop. These peas are exactly what I was after. I can't do his accent.
Eat your rabbit. Yeah. So, but yeah, no, they can't make movies of everything, man. So.
I'm saying it's 2 movies. Because then, if you focus on the stuff going on Asgard, you can actually have, like, actual elements, actual stakes over there, other than just Hela being like, hey, I'm here. Can I take care of this? This Asgard is mine. This is my Asgard. See ya. Here's my head. Have a good time. Whereas in Sakaar, there's all this other stuff where you could be focusing on, and potentially the people, because clearly, like, the people aren't happy with everything that happens when the revolution starts. And then all of a sudden, they don't really focus on all that.
Right, yeah.
All of a sudden,
they've got
just
a lot of still moving parts. Yeah, for sure.
And then Thor comes down. It's like, I gotta get out of here, and let's go back to Asgard. Oh, anus. And then up the anus.
I feel like now we're talking about a different movie.
No, that's what I mean. It should be a different movie.
Up the anus. Different movie. That's like a different movie. It's a different rating, different studio.
Thor Ragnarok your world.
Actually, we'd probably call it Thor Ragnarok.
Thor, the porn parody. Oh, God. Ragnarok.
Oh, God.
Anyway, so he gets back to Asgard.
We should really stop drinking during these podcasts.
No, anyway. We should drink more. So anyways, yeah, he gets back to Asgard. Yes, that's right. At this point, this is also when the grocery shopper Heimdall comes getting the Target deals. He comes back after coupon clipping, and he decides to put up a fight. It wasn't that he decides. It's Hela and Scourge find, or at this point they're calling the Executioner, find them, and that's when Thor comes around.
So hold on, this scene is weird because she comes in and one of her powers they've sort of kind of established is throwing ever increasing size of knives. Like, I don't know, I feel like they could be as big as she likes. But she finds the hideout, throws the knives, breaking down the wall, then Thor is like in the throne room, like banging on the staff. And then suddenly she turns around and she's in the throne room. Like, where were they hiding versus the throne? I'm like, did she just like teleport back to the palace? Like, they didn't. That was weird. Like, I feel like there was a scene missing or something like that where like she stops throwing ever increasing size knives into the rock wall, and it's like, oh, I should go back to the throne room because somehow I can.
Or they just cut and he's been there for an hour and a half, just boom, boom, boom. Fuck, my arm's getting tired.
And she like runs in like out of breath. It's like, oh, I came as quickly as I could. I was trying to get to those refugees over there. Oh, I heard they hit the Whole Foods. That Heimdall. It's a hungry bastard.
Spent a fortune. All the gold doubloons. So at that point, then the battle, like at this point, like there's really not much else interesting about the film to talk about. It's really just the battle.
Yeah.
And then everybody off planet. And then Surtur comes back.
So there is a word I'd like to say right here. Yeah. Like the actual battle at the end has an interesting setup. I like the escaping refugees on the Rainbow Bridge.
Yeah.
And the undead army with Fenrir, like the wolf. The wolf. I think that's what it is. Fenrir. That's my like Norse mythology knowledge. That's not comic knowledge at all. I'm pretty sure that's Fenrir. Like during Ragnarok, you're supposed to like eat the sun or some crazy shit like that. But the giant wolf and basically that setup of them trying to escape and them protecting the refugees, I like that setup. The execution, I don't think it was particularly memorable because you have this scene where the Hulk is fighting Fenrir, and it's just kind of like a CGI like slugfest, and it's kind of like not involving.
Right.
But the scenes where Thor and what's her name, Scrapper, Does she have another name?
I don't know. I think they just call her Valkyrie.
Valkyrie, yeah. She like them two sort of fighting, and then Thor going into lightning, like Raiden mode. This is the other thing I need to mention. First move he does when he goes into lightning mode to fight all the guys, he does like a Psycho Crusher Raiden thing.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. No, he doesn't scream.
That was great though.
But he like jumps forward and spins around.
Yeah,
and knocks like five guys off.
Yeah,
I'm like,
right. I remember.
Dude, he just did Raiden's move from Mortal Kombat, and I feel like that was on purpose. I feel like that's something the director would do. Be like, he's got lightning shooting out everywhere. He's gonna fucking do Raiden's move.
It didn't even dawn on me.
Yeah, so he goes into like super, Raiden mode, and which is pretty cool. I like the way he looks.
I did too. I like that a lot.
I like his fight scene. That was good. The fight scene with Hela wasn't particularly involving. I like when the three of them... Do all three fight her at the same time? I can't remember at the end.
Can't remember.
Yeah, so that's kind of telling.
The end wasn't really memorable for me. The most memorable thing about the end, aside from him going God mode, was getting the way it was resolved in the end with Surtur. And the eye.
Yeah, the eye. Getting the eye.
But even that, I was just like, that's unfortunate. And then that was it, really. Yeah. But then Surtur...
The whole idea about bringing Surtur back and starting Ragnarok was actually
cool
inventive.
Idea. I really like that
inventive.
Idea.
Totally...
I like it when they bring elements from the plot that were really not focused on at the beginning. As long as you were paying attention, you know where it was going. And then all of a sudden...
Do you really mean to say that, like, bringing plot elements from the beginning that were really awful and I hated them?
No. So, my beef with the beginning part was really just the CG.
Visuals, yeah.
The visuals just looked bad. But... I liked some of the comedy beats in the conversation he had directly with Surtur.
Sure, yeah.
I thought they played on it a little bit much, but it conveyed the idea that this guy could be a bad motherfucker. It's just, he kind of just revealed everything that is his weakness, potentially, and Thor exploited it.
Yeah.
But now, all of a sudden, giving him back his strength, brought him back, that was an interesting concept.
And you know why it was in nobody's mind, we touched on this before, was that they set him up as kind of a joke.
Yeah.
He was the butt of all of the jokes, and suddenly he becomes this... He is the deliverer of Ragnarok.
Yeah.
Right? He's the end of Asgard. So, and they deliver on that 100%. Meanwhile, we get a couple of more lines of stand-up comedy from Korg, which I fucking just totally fell flat for me, unfortunately. Yeah, and I think that pretty much covers it. I don't think there's really anything at the end that's particularly
memorable.
Noteworthy.
No, not that. That's. I mean, then they had the two teasers. What were the stingers at the end?
Yeah, so like the ship,
the big ship. I mean, that's
like
just leading to Thanos.
Ship,
but even that wasn't very impactful. It's like no shit.
Yeah, space is a small place. Two guys
in the Marvel universe. Yeah, you got to watch your fender. You can get bumped on your spaceship.
Space Winnebago.
So,
and then there was another one. Was there another one?
I honestly can't remember. Fuck. There was a second. There were two. I just can't remember.
The Grandmaster.
Oh, right. Coming out and being like, it's all right, guys. I planned this or whatever the fuck. I was like, shut up. It felt, that's another one that fell flat. Like, at that point, he'd already been forgotten with all the other shit that was going on in the film.
Yeah, and the Grandmaster's never really given any motivation. He's just there. He's just there, and right from the beginning, he's the Grandmaster. Doesn't change at all. Doesn't give it any motivation, and then he's gone.
And you really don't know that there's any civil unrest on Sakaar because they don't fucking focus on it, and it should have been its own film. God damn it. Make two films.
Heimdall goes shopping.
Heimdall Goes Shopping.
Part 1.
Part 1 of 2. First he starts off at No Frills to save a buck or two, but then he's like, you know what? I need some of that organic. So
going to Longos.
Longos. Oh, fuck.
It's going to Longos.
Yeah, true.
So, I mean, that's Thor Ragnarok in a nutshell.
Not to be confused with Thor Ragnarok. Because that would be... a very different film.
Although I feel like elements of this film would be used for that, including the devil's anus. So anyway, that's Thor Ragnarok. Taika Waititi has made I think he's made a film that's fun.
Yes.
That delivers. I was sort of limping in on the yay. Like, yeah, I kind of like I enjoyed it. I liked enough about it that But I have significant problems, so you can probably tell, and I'm not like a super yay. I'm kind of like limping into the light category, I suppose. So
it's a fun, watchable film, as really all Marvel films are. It's safe. It plays by the numbers, but this could have been more. Especially with a guy like Taika Waititi behind the helm. It seemed like a bit of a missed opportunity in at least a few.
Well, I mean, like, it's not to say that, like, some things just... and again, I think we are probably in the minority here. People love this movie.
Dude, it was 92% on fucking Rotten Tomatoes.
People love this movie. And I absolutely understand why. I just... I don't know. It just didn't play that way for me.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate. I liked it. I just didn't love it. Like,
just a bunch of grumpy old men we are, man.
Yeah, I guess maybe that's what it is. I'm just getting old. It's fucking... Yeah. Maybe that's what it is. But go and check it out.
Definitely. Check it out.
It's a fun time at the theater.
Yeah.
The same way I would argue that Justice League is a fun time at the theater. This is a fun time at the theater too. You'll enjoy yourself. But as far as watching it again, I probably wouldn't watch it again. You know what? I would watch the first scene from the first Thor movie again. I tried to figure
I like the first Thor film actually a lot.
I didn't like as a whole. I feel like it's a bit of a slog, but I love the intro scene because it's so well done. The special effects, the makeup effects, everything is just really well done there.
True.
But this is probably one that I'm not going to see because there's nothing in it that I really care to revisit.
No, I'm the same way.
So
agreed.
Yeah. And I've mentioned this more than once before, but like the shootout scene in Winter Soldier, like I'll go back and watch again. The escape from the prison scene in Guardians, I'll go back and watch again. But there's nothing in this movie that I'd go back to.
Word. All right, folks. Well, this has been episode somewhere between 10 and 2000.
That's safe. Play it safe.
Oh, fuck. I've already made that mistake twice. I think I'd edit the last one and be like, edit this. Yeah. I say 10. It's not episode 10.
That's right.
Episode, yeah.
You're just a damn.
How embarrassing.
Yeah.
So anyways, this is an indeterminate episode number. I might even just cut this. Fuck. Anyways, guys.
I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying you, like, digging your own grave over there.
It's getting deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for listening. This has been the Welcome to Your Doom Show. This is Justin.
This is Atul.
And take care.
See you guys. You gotta stop fucking doing that, man.
It's still fun.
That pause just kills me. I'm like, just finish the fucking sentence like a
normal
person.
I don't want to do that. God. At this
These
point,
lights are hot.
What
I'm
lights?
Sweating.
Dude, the fucking LEDs, they're not generating any heat.
Oh, well, maybe I'm just...
You can't interrogate anybody with these lights. No one's sweating under these lights.
You gotta get them real close.
You gotta get them real close.